Hey y'all, welcome to another Odyssey update. This one spans about a week and 4 different rides, 3 of which were in the English saddle. This was when we began riding out in the open again after a couple western rides in the round pen. These videos are going to be a lot more edited, showing shorter clips from all of our rides so that they're not all an hour long. So I'm just going to give you guys a general gist of what we were working on and the progress that we made. In this stage of our riding, we do a lot of figure eights and direction changes, working on steering and balance. There's also a whole lot of riding on a loose rein to help him find his own straightness and balance without needing constant input from the rider. I started to feel him leaning into this corner, so we did some circles here before finding the release somewhere else. Unfortunately, another reason that this video editing has to be a little choppy is because we spend half the time out of the frame, but you can get the general idea of where Odyssey was at in his training and what he was working on, and I'm hoping that I can make it entertaining for you guys. We finished up with some work on isolating the body parts, moving the shoulders, hips, and moving laterally off my leg. The next day we did even more loose rein work. This time I did an exercise where I basically just sat there acting like a passenger, seeing where he wanted to go. Unsurprisingly, he generally directed himself at the gate. This time, none of his friends were turned out yet because we were riding in the morning, and so his draw was toward the gate in the direction of the barn, whereas on the previous day, his draw was in the corner in the direction of his friends in their fields. So what I'm doing is not giving him any input with the reins or trying to steer him, and just keeping his momentum moving forward. So he realizes even if he goes toward the gate, he's not going to find a release there, and he learns to find a release in comfortably moving forward, and ideally in a straight line. He tried to see if picking up the canter toward the gate would help him, and I just gently steered him into a circle and waited for him to come back down to trot. So then I started giving him some level of input with the reins and helping him to find the right answer, which was just not pointing at the gate all the time. Ideally, I'd like him to go around in straight lines and not veering off in one direction when I let go of the reins, so that is the end goal. He likes his forehead scratches. So now that we're able to go around on a loose rein without really going in the corner with the gate and without him trying to turn himself towards the gate, we were able to do a little more controlled riding where I gave him some more direction. Then we did some nice easy canter circles and called it a ride. It was a really light, easy ride. This was him getting a bit sassy. I had not actually asked him to canter. The next day I hopped on to mess around bareback to have a lighter ride and work some more on his body control. He was starting to understand a crossover in front when I asked him to yield his shoulder over. And starting to put together moving the shoulders and the hindquarters at the same time. We do a lot of meandering around in between so that he doesn't completely lose his forward motion. I don't want to drill him and make him feel sour and frustrated, so I do a lot of movement to break it up and only ask him to do the same thing a couple times in a row until I get a really good try. And I was still working on being a little lighter in my hands and not blocking his forward motion so much, but this was a really, really nice try for him, and so we stopped there. He got a few well-deserved days off, and then I hopped on him and I was trying a different saddle this time. This was Elisa's Crosby, and I was going to see how he felt in that. I didn't end up loving how he felt in this saddle. I can't remember why. I think it just didn't feel like the greatest fit. Maybe he felt a little less happy. But we did our usual direction changes, figure eights, that kind of stuff to get his brain engaged. was a pretty basic ride, lots and lots of repetition happening at this stage, and that's why you're going to see less and less gets filmed as our riding journey goes on, and it's really just going to be a highlight reel showing you his progress and his journey. But I hope you'll still follow along and be entertained by these videos. I am having a lot of fun training Odyssey and learning so much. We spent a few minutes hanging out watching Zephyr's training. He gave me some really nice crossover steps here, and so we called that a ride. That was really good for Odyssey, and stay tuned for the next video. He's going to have some more traffic training featuring Fledge the Mustang.